What's up, guys, and welcome to a late night episode of Tuesday Night Talks. Today actually marks episode number 48, I'm pretty sure, and I'm just outside of my house. I didn't want to bother the roommates watching some holiday movies. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I wanted to make sure to get this in today. It's been a really crazy week so far. It's only Tuesday. I'm really pumped on it, though. Lots of great things coming our way for the Blue Light team, which I'm really excited about. And even more so, I'm just dedicated. Somebody actually commented, "Are you still doing this gimmick?" And it's funny. Yes, I am still doing this gimmick, quote unquote, but I'm dedicated to providing as much information as I can about all of the knowledge that we're picking up on in terms of social media marketing and digital marketing. And I think that, it's kind of my job to share it with you guys. So I'm really excited about that. If you haven't checked in before, every Tuesday at some point, do a Facebook live feed to provide any information about social media marketing, digital marketing, personal branding, whatever it might be. And if you have any questions about social or digital marketing, feel free to comment below, and I will answer those questions live as long as the comments come up. I mean, the Facebook Creator app is changing things around and things like that, and I want to just be able to get to whatever I can. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about personal branding for professionals. Now, it's something that I was really passionate. I mean, I'm still very passionate about personal branding, but there's a lot of people talking about personal branding on the internet. You don't really need me to do that, but it is something that I wanted to revisit, as it has been coming up a lot more recently with the people I've been talking to, and the personal brand. I want to be very clear about this. It's not just about how many Instagram followers you have, what your layout looks like, your color scheme, your logo, or anything like that. A personal brand is essentially just your reputation online. What is somebody going to find when they Google you, right? We can also call this a digital portfolio. I used to do a lot of talks with Saba Kidwai. I hope you're well if you're watching, by the way. About a digital portfolio, and it's basically the same thing. It's not just a travel blog or a food blog or anything like that. It is your reputation. What do you want people to think of when they think of you on the internet, right? What do you want people to remember you by, whether it's professionally or in your hobbies or anything like that? So I did want to go through that specifically for professionals. This can apply to a lawyer, a pediatrician, a dentist. It's great for fitness instructors, things like that. And the fitness instructors are crushing it right now, doing such a great job of doing that. The real estate agent, I know we talked about that in the last couple weeks, right? So there's really quite a bit of there's a great umbrella of the personal brand thing covers a lot of people. There's a big umbrella over it. There's all these cars coming by and I can't concentrate, and it's kind of late, so I apologize. Anyways, so let's start with this. When you're thinking of your personal brand, again, think of what do you want people to think of when they think of you, right? Do you want them to remember you for your profession, who your favorite sports team is, whatever it might be? You already have a personal brand, that's the thing. But in terms of professionals, what I would really recommend to you first is making sure that you have a great website, right? You can build a website for free, essentially, on something like Wix or even Squarespace. For $20 a month, though, you can have your own domain. So, for me, it's mikhaelalfon.com, right? Your own domain is really nice. You can even set up your own email address as well. So mine is hey@mikhaelalfon.com, and this is separate from, from Blue Light and everything like that. But what my website serves as is a place for people to communicate with me and also see all the work that I've done, whether it be videos, the work with Blue Light Media, any of the blogs that I've done, the podcast, things like that. They're all housed in one place. And when people come to that website, they have the opportunity to contact me through contact forms, right? So that's the first thing. And the reason I suggest having a website is because you want to have some sort of owned space. A website is owned space, right? It's not like Facebook or Instagram or anything like that where you're renting space on their platform. The website is all yours and you can do whatever the heck you want with it. Now, what I would recommend, let's say you're the dentist, is to start producing content in the form of videos, audio, or the written word like blogs around what you want what you think your patients would be interested in. So, for example, if you are a dentist, you can write things like, the 5 best teeth whitening techniques of 2018, of 2017. That's something that a lot of people would be interested in. Or 10 signs that you might need a root canal, something like that. Those are all very interesting and interesting topics and articles that you can write about and host on your website, right? And this can also be in the form of a video again, or you can even do a short audio clip like a podcast on Anchor or whatever it might be, but host it on your website. Once it is hosted on your website, take that piece of content and link it out on something like Facebook. You can create a business Facebook page if you'd like, or you can even use your personal page. I'm a firm believer that a lot of your first patients and customers and things like that are right within your immediate network. So you want to remind people that that is what you're up to. You are the expert in the dental field, right? And again, if you're the real estate agent, it could be the 5 best places to visit in Orange County. If you are the fitness instructor, it's the 5 best exercises or foods to get your 6-pack. Like, the list kind of goes on, and I'm hoping that you can kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about here. And if it's just a hobby, if you're the person that loves beer, it can literally be the 5 best stouts that I've tried in 2017, and write things about that. And that can all be hosted on your website as well. But again, post it out on Facebook, and that's going to help drive traffic to your website depending on how many people are following you. And that's kind of the first thing that I would do and start marketing that way. Now, you want to create other social media platforms. Sometimes LinkedIn would be really good, but I always recommend that you are on Instagram as well as Facebook no matter what. And the reason I say that is because everybody's on Instagram. Like, I'm still surprised if somebody doesn't have like an Instagram and isn't active on it, but everybody's on Instagram. That's where most of the attention is right now. A lot of communication is happening right there. People are really engaging with captions, engaging with pictures. Instagram stories have crushed it. So definitely have your Instagram no matter what profession you're in. Lawyer, personal trainer, obviously, that there's a lot of those on there. A real estate agent, dentist, that type of thing. Now, very important, on your Instagram page, make sure that in your bio you actually have what you're up to. It's surprising to me how many people are like, let's say the dentist, and it has nowhere in their Instagram bio that they're a dentist that specializes in pediatric dentistry or whatever it might be. That's the first place that people are going to be looking to get some information on you. Sometimes they might not be able to tell that from a single picture, right? So make sure that that is in your bio. Now, when it comes to the photos that you're putting out, pictures of teeth and you scraping people's gums, whatever it might be, if you're the dentist, might not be very interesting or aesthetically pleasing to the eye. An example I really like is through my friend Nick Deliberato, who is a chiropractor in Orange County. One might think that that's a hard Instagram profile to manage, but he actually does a great job of putting together a lot of great aesthetically pleasing photos, and it's like a collage that are themed, but in the captions is where he's delivering a lot of the value when it comes to health or spine health or anything like that. So I think that is an excellent strategy, and a lot of dentists or lawyers can take on the same thing. You don't necessarily just have to take a picture of you at your desk or take a picture of all your paperwork. What you could be doing is you could just take pictures of 1,000,000 sunsets if you want to. The lawyer that's obsessed with Orange County sunsets. And in every caption that you're putting out, maybe put a piece of a piece of law advice, something like that. So, there's a lot of options to do things like that. I know that it's a little bit harder when you are not a food blogger. Tinger, what's up? Anthony, what's up? It's good to see you guys. I know that it's a little bit harder when you're not when you're not a travel blogger or anything like that, but there is a way around it. You can incorporate your staff into this, but again, it can go completely off the wall, and it can just be the lawyer that's obsessed with art, you know what I mean? And you put up different pictures by Andy Warhol and Dolly, and then somehow tie this into the caption and how it ties into a case that you worked on or a bit of advice that you'd like to talk about, right? So there's a lot of ways around this. The other reason that I think that Instagram is so important is, and as I was talking about last week or on some podcast or something like that, is it's so much of a communication tool not more than it is, but just as much as it is a content push tool, right? So people are really engaging in conversations again in the captions. People are really getting down in the DM, and there's conversations happening there every day. So that's a great place to network. That's a great place to connect with potential people. So don't think that just because you're a lawyer or a dentist that Instagram isn't for you and you can't really build a brand there. You definitely can. You just have to look at all the different angles at which you can do that. Now, again, with Facebook, you can host a lot of videos, which is obviously going to get the most reach. You can link out your blogs, things like that. Lawyers, obviously, you want to have some sort of, a LinkedIn page showing what you've worked on and a lot of your accomplishments, and and that would definitely help reach out to your network. Now, there are other platforms like YouTube, and you can take a video like this, a Facebook Live video, download it and put it on YouTube. And the reason that I find YouTube to be very important is for SEO purposes, right? So when somebody is searching for a particular subject, or very much just searching your name, you want as much good information to come up about you. And when you have videos on YouTube, those are things that are populating into Google search results. So that's something I would definitely take into consideration. It doesn't have to be fancy, and you can just put something out. So hopefully that kind of helps you out a little bit. Another one, this is like if you have a ton of time, is like using Twitter to help build a personal brand too. Again, this is coming up, tweets are coming up very heavily on Google search. Like if you search my name, Mikhail Alfon, you'll see the last like 20 or 5 tweets that I put out. And this is a way that people can see that you are active in the community. But more importantly, you're also given the opportunity to network with people in a public setting. And I think that that's something that's really valuable, because now other people can see who you're talking to, and who you're talking to, their audience can see that as well. And you might be thinking to yourself, how does Twitter and how does connecting with people contribute to my brand? Well, the people that you're engaging with and the people that you're networking with are also a big part of your brand, right? They always say that you are the sum of the 5 people that are closest to you. Well, maybe they can say something similar about the sum of the first 100 people that you're following on Instagram is also part of your brand. Like, the people that you're networking with is definitely going to be a reflection of you, and then vice versa as well. And I'm not saying that you should go about this in like a sleazy kind of get into everybody's feed type of way, but really, I hate the term now, building relationships, but there are a lot of people that you can learn from on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook that would be beneficial to your business, your brand, things like that. It's obviously a way to get clients. It's a way to do collaborations. For example, I'm obsessed with social media. I'm excited to later on next week interview with Tinker, for example, because she's used social media to really help her travel blogging and food blogging. So that's really excellent. And it just kind of meshes together. And even though we're not completely in the same space, it just kind of makes sense. For example, with a dentist, it might not completely make sense to network with a nutritionist, but at the same time, there is a lot of synergy in the two, in that, like, what you're putting into your body could affect how your breath smells, and There's a lot of collaborations there. So don't throw anything away just because you don't think at first glance it could work. There's a lot of networking that can be done. So I know that we started talking about the personal brand stuff and then went into networking, but now I'm kind of thinking like, your network is such a big part of your brand as well, and that's something that you should definitely focus on and just be cool about it. So that's kind of what I have for you guys tonight. Thank you for checking in with me super late. Sorry about this really awkward, terrible lighting and whatever, but I was outside and I just wanted to deliver this for you guys. If you've never checked in before, Yaleen, thank you for checking in. If you've never checked in before, every Tuesday at some point I put out something with Hannah, with Nelson, with somebody else from the team about social media marketing, digital marketing, or anything like that. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at mikhail@bluelight.media. But until then, I'll see you next week. But I do want to leave you with this. Speaking of networking, do not get so obsessed with building relationships that you forget what an actual friendship is. There's a lot of value in everybody that you're talking to. So just don't forget that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you next week.